Matt Walsh. The internet is abuzz. He's trending on X for apparently some sort of fallout with Ben Shapiro, a fallout that he himself has denied. And so I kind of have to take his word for it. But it is an interesting topic because there's been a certain section of the conservative X world that has basically been trying to get Matt Walsh to quit the Daily Wire for a very long time. I don't exactly know how it started. Now, obviously, I think it's mostly born out of the fact that, you know, he's America first, and many people believe Ben Shapiro is Israel first. You know, Ben Shapiro has said some stupid stuff about Trump and, you know, other things like that. Now, essentially, this picture of Matt Walsh sitting through what many people are calling a struggle session with Ben Shapiro has everyone saying that, you know, he's ready to quit and that he's ready to leave the Daily Wire. I don't know that that's the case because here's a clip that's got the internet on fire. 7,000 likes. Ben Shapiro appeared to scold Matt Walsh and others for declining to police the right after Politico published an article revealing the New York State Young Republicans' stupid joking text messages. This has been a thing that Ben Shapiro has been on. Mark Dice, shout out Mark Dice. He's definitely an OG and a real one, and probably one of the only people I never miss a video of.
His chair.
He talks about, you know, Ben essentially scolding people here.
Hypocrisy and double standards consistently get exposed whenever media. Again, little Ben, you weasel. This was a private conversation. I saw this meme that somebody made of Dave Ramsey, who often has complete financial.
Well, I wanted to find the clip. Here's the clip of Benny.
Retard, and even made some offensive jokes about Jews. Which in today's society, since everything is so digital and
I love
online,
Mark. He's the best.
No different than a group of friends sitting around having a couple beers and speaking freely. But Ben Shapiro doesn't believe in free speech, especially when people say offensive things about Jews.
Finally, it actually is not sufficient to publicly
So this is where it started, I think. Shout out Mark, he's the best.
proclaim you're not going to condemn these people while you don't say anything about their comments and instead just project to the other side.
Well, we don't want to highlight what it is that they said. Again, Ben, because that's a private conversation. It has no relevance whatsoever being in the public sphere.
Because strategically, on a strategic level, this is how your party ends up being taken over by the ambulatory psychotics. Okay, I want to look at the left because that's how it happened. The left decided they would not, under any circumstances, condemn their own ambulatory psychotics.
Let me stop you there, Weasel. The difference is that the ambulatory psychotics on the left are publicly advocating for psychotic positions and calling for and celebrating violence against us. This, again, was a group of people in a private chat joking and using offensive humor and trying to get a rise out of their friends. And
Mark perfectly nails it here. By the way, if you don't watch Mark Dice, you should. He's an OG, but he's the guy I look up to most in this space, a man who's done it all on his own and, you know, hasn't sold out and has remained basically true to himself for his entire career. Then last night, there was this where Matt Walsh is apparently, he's been calling for a lot of unity on the right. Like, hey, I guess you have to correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know this for a fact. I think what they're talking about is like Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, if that's who like this big undercurrent is about like who we should be talking to and who we shouldn't be talking to. I feel like they're talking about that, but I could be wrong. I don't know exactly who they're talking about. But this occurred last night in their debate. By the way, happened at like 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, and all four of these men appeared to be sitting at home. Must be nice.
Again, I'm not even disagreeing with the motivations of the Politico story. In fact, even on my show today, I talked about the motivations of the Politico story, which, Matt, I agree, are completely scurrilous and designed to distract from the sort of violent rhetoric we've seen from the left. But it has led to, I think, a reactionary response on some parts of the right to say there should be no policing ever at all, no social consequences.
He is talking to Matt here, I think. I think he is talking to Matt.
Should ever attend to things that are said on the right, that it's basically just pure my side versus your side. The problem I have is, number one, I think that's immoral, and number two, I don't think that's pragmatic. I don't think that's moral because I think that there are things that get said on the right that are really, really, really ugly, and pretending those away doesn't make them go away. I think that they're rising. I think that they're getting more common. I know that my death threats from that side are getting more common. I know I have more security because of that, and it's not just from the left. I have lots of security from the left, and I also get lots of security from the right. Matt, I think a little bit earlier today you tweeted that kind of your litmus test is the people who are trying to kill you, and I totally get that. I also have that litmus test. The difference is that...
So what Ben Shapiro is saying, essentially, correct me if I'm wrong, but is he just doing the anti-Semitism thing? Is that what he's really doing here? I feel like that's what he's doing here. He's saying, well, I have anti-Semitism and it's coming from the right, and so I have to call it out. I think that's what he's doing. I don't know, I don't know if this whole, because nobody's naming names. I feel like they're talking about Fuentes and Candace Owens, of which I don't think we should police what they say. I think we can disagree with them. That's one thing that people on the right of center generally do. Now, I don't consider myself on the right. I voted for Trump. I would probably vote for J.D. Vance as things stand right now, but I don't know where I'll be in 3 years. But just because you voted that way once or twice doesn't necessarily make you quote unquote on the right. So I don't know who they're talking about, but I don't really give a crap about these Politico chat leaks. And I don't think we should police what people say on the right. We should, police maybe what they do if they're violent or they attack people or whatever. But, free speech is a thing.
That I think that if somebody tries to kill you, Matt, there's a good shot that it's going to be a leftist. If somebody tries to kill me, it's a freaking Agatha Christie novel. I just don't know which direction the bullet is coming from at this point, given the...
I don't know about that, Ben. Again, Ben is, I'm pretty sure this is him doing his anti-Semitism thing. Look, Israel fatigue is real. I am not I don't have Israel derangement syndrome, but I am fatigued about hearing about Israel. I wish I could never hear. I would like to go the next 10 years and never have to hear about them. I would like to never send them any more money. They can buy all the missiles they want from us, fine. But I don't think people on the right, he's implying people on the right would want to take his life. And I think that he's basically making that up. I don't know. Do people say heinous stuff to Ben? Probably.
These sort of various and sundry radical extremes that exist. I'm not going to say that the right is equivalent to the left in this respect, because I don't think it's been mainstreamed to nearly the same effect on the right that it has been on the left. But to pretend that it has not infiltrated a lot of very important spaces, I think is sort of whistling past the graveyard.
Now, someone in chat said, Candace Owens spurging out against the Jews, Laura Loomer spurging out for the Jews. I'm not a particular fan of the PSYOP. I 1,000% agree with you. I just don't care about Israel. I don't care. Can we stop talking about them? But Matt Walsh now says, if by scold you mean we had a conversation, we all gave our perspective and debated on the subject openly and respectfully, then you clip 60 seconds out where only one guy was talking, then yeah, sure, I guess. So then he linked it to this. So, I mean, if we go to the actual...
You will get to sound...
Well, I don't know. Here's the comments. Kind of hard to be excited about Daily Wire stuff anymore without Jeremy. Well, I don't know. I thought Jeremy Boring was the bad guy. I definitely prefer backstage over a pre-recorded Zoom meeting. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of lazy. But, look, this is what the left wants. This is what I can say. The left wants the right infighting about these text messages. these text messages were released to take some of the pressure off the left's violent rhetoric. They were leaked by someone on the right, which is pathetic and cowardly. But their sole purpose is to divide the right, and I just don't care about them. It's why I never covered them. It's why I'm covering them on my second channel, on my personal channel. They don't matter. So what? They made some anti-Jew jokes and they made some edgy. They used the evil R word. So what? Like, the left is killing us. We don't have to like knee-jerk react to every single solitary attack from the left. We could just say, oh yeah, there's some text messages, ha ha ha. Moving on. We could just move on, but we don't do that. We have to spurg out, and then we have to have people like Ben Shapiro say, well, we really need to be policing each other. No, we don't. We don't have to live by the left standards. We don't have to answer to every time they try to distract us from our cause, which is uniting, keeping America first, closing the borders, deporting 20 million illegals, and making America great again. I absolutely side with Mark Dice here. To the extent of whether or not Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro are feuding, I have a feeling they don't agree on a lot geopolitically. But people on the internet seem to live in this world where they have no concept of being able to get along with somebody who differs from them politically. I am certain that they probably get along just fine, like adults do. Like adults actually get along, and this is very normal. But the internet is trying to tear everybody apart, in particular X, which I believe is a huge psyop, and it's why I'm using it less and less, which is why I'm hoping a bunch of people will join as a member. We'll go to thequartering.com/join today and join as a member so we can talk directly and not be, have our opinions swayed and moved by bots and everybody else. So hopefully you'll go over to thequartering.com/join if you made it to the end of this segment, and we can talk further in the Discord.